welcome back to Raven's Ramblings, your cozy corner for all things witchy and magical. What do y'all think? Is that an okay tagline? Let me know. Anyway, I'm Raven. Today we're going to be talking about a couple things. First thing is going to be everyday witchcraft, and the second thing kind of ties in with it with witchy workarounds, which is going to be kind of advice on how to practice subtly, let's say, or blending in at work because not all of us live in workplaces where this is completely accepted. So, starting with everyday witchcraft, this is gonna be a little bit of stuff about weaving magic into your routine, just your day-to-day practice without adding all that extra stress. Okay, because honestly, life is busy, and well, it's that I think it goes back to that whole great things come in small packages kind of thing. So it doesn't have to always be this huge elaborate ritual. You can do simple things every single day to live in your practice. Because honestly, most of us don't have time for all that. It's great when you can, but it's just not always feasible. So just being able to practice a little bit of something every single day, all you really need is a little intention and a little sprinkle of witchy mindset. So, what is everyday witchcraft? It's about living intentionally, okay? So you're going to be able to look at mundane things and simple things that you already do and find a way to make them magical for you, okay? And this is going to be different for everyone because our practice is it's just that. It's a practice. Everybody's practice is going to be different and personal, and honestly, that's the way it should be. So, it's simple things like if you are making your morning coffee, so stir it clockwise and think about setting your intentions for a good day. Okay, think about those positive things that you're wanting to achieve that day. And it doesn't have to be anything major, it could just be simple. I want to have a good day. And stir that intention in with your coffee or your tea or your chocolate milk or whatever. Just set that intention out into the universe. Um, you can wear a specific crystal, or carry one in your pocket. Um, and that could be kind of a shielding thing. You can, charge those crystals with, um, bringing abundance or protection or bringing about peace, whatever you want. And that's just something simple that you can throw in your pocket or throw on as a necklace. Some people have earrings that are crystals, rings, all those kinds of things. Simple stuff. It's whispering gratitude into the universe when you're watering your plants, okay? Or even washing a dish, whisper a gratitude of, I'm thankful for the food that I ate off of this dish, and put that gratitude out into the world. Because magic isn't always a separate event from your day to day life. It's something that is just how you move through the world. Okay? And there I go with the okay again. Y'all gotta help me work through that mess. I'm just sounding like a old southern crazy person. So some other simple ways to kind of weave magic into your day-to-day life, that setting intention like I was talking about with the coffee. You can do that with anything, like when you're brushing your teeth or making your bed, or even getting dressed. I mean, whatever. And set an intention, something like, today I am calm, focused, and protected. And just keep repeating that mantra to yourself. That's putting that intention out there. That's setting that in your mind of what you want for the day. We talked about a second ago about the crystals. Charge those your favorite rings and necklaces, and it doesn't have to be the crystal ones. It's like your wedding ring. Charge that with energy, for protection, love, success, whatever you feel like you need. Okay, that's what you charge in your jewelry, or let your eyeglasses. I mean, it can truly be that simple of a thing. Um, you can, this is one of my favorite ones, because you can drink a potion. This is one I jotted down because I kind of use this myself. My coffee is my potion. It is a magic elixir that keeps my brain from overloading and helps me focus. And sometimes will put me to sleep, because that ADHD thing, coffee doesn't always work the way you think it's going to. So when I put my sugar in my coffee, I'm trying to draw energy in that, positive energy. Now, if I'm trying to push something away, like if I'm having a really bad day and I've got a lot of negativity in my head, I try to stir it counterclockwise to banish that negativity, to banish that bad energy that I've got playing on me. Uh, that's a little bit harder to do for me, because I have a very set routine of how I do things. So trying to go that counterclockwise doesn't always work well. I have to mentally force myself to do that. I am more of the going clockwise, bringing the good into me when it comes to that kind of stuff. Now, that's just some of the few things you can do, like in your morning routine. Just add those little bits in there throughout the day, what some would call midday magic. You can have a pocket talisman, carry a small stone or a charm or a sigil or something like that in your pocket for grounding and for support throughout the day. I have a small little velvet pouch that I keep specific crystals and stuff in, that stays in my work bag. It goes with me to work every single time I go. You know, and it's just something small like that. And if I'm having a really bad time at work, I can go pull out that little bag, hold it for a few minutes, and kind of center and ground myself. I mean, it's really that simple. Another thing is breath work. So between tasks, take 10 seconds, take some deep cleansing breaths. And when you're exhaling, you're going to imagine releasing that old energy, that negative energy, and push it away from you as you exhale. And then when you inhale, you're going to bring in fresh and positive energy. So, good things, bad things, just with your breathing. And you can do that in a breath or two, just walking down the hallway at work or whatever. Another thing, and I have a friend who does this. I personally don't, because I've just never dove off into it. I guess I will at some point, so I can talk to y'all about it. Sigil stationery, doodling little protective sigils on a notepad or in your planner, or, well, okay, we don't all have paper planners. I still have a couple that I use on occasion, but you see what I'm saying. If you have a little notepad, open it to that very last little post-it page and doodle something positive on it. So every time you have to use one of those post-it notes on top of that positive energy is attached to it. See? And nobody has to see that last little page. That's for you. That's not for somebody else. That's your thing. Um, so that's what you can do like throughout the day, midday magic. Then we have evening magic. This one I struggle with. Personally, this first one, gratitude magic. That is the practice of, like, right before bed, list out 3 things that you're thankful for from that day, or 3 things that were just good for that day. And they don't have to be large things. They could be very, very simple things, like, I am thankful that even though I was late going to work, I caught all green lights on the way. Simple, easy, but still gratitude magic. Put those gratitudes out there into the universe, because gratitude attracts abundance. If you are thankful for things, then you will receive more things. Does that make sense? Kind of, sort of. See, I struggle with that one because a lot of times I'm just a Debbie Downer. I'll be like, well, this day was shit, and I'm thankful that I'm still kicking tonight. That's it. That'd be all I have. And that's not great, but I am a classic pessimist for the most part, because, well, the world's just kind of shitty for the most part too. So, but try to find those simple things. I'm thankful that I have a purple pen on my desk instead of a green one, because I'm not crazy about the color green, but I love the color purple. It can be something silly and simple, and whatever works for you. Um, Another thing for night magic or evening magic, the moonlight. Step outside for just a minute and look up and say hello to the moon. Just say, hey, I see you, I feel you, thank you. And I do this one all the time because I love the moon. I've always been drawn to the moon. Even as a small child, I felt like I had a connection to the moon. So this one is super easy for me. I've always done it kind of unconsciously. But, take those moments, acknowledge the moon, close your eyes, kind of bathe in that moonlight for a minute, and then go about your day or your night. Because night, but you know where I'm at. So just take those couple minutes. Another one is sleep spells, and a lot of people swear by this. Put a little bit of lavender on your pillow or in a little sachet under your pillow. Uh, Visualize, when you do that, visualize protective light surrounding you as you're going to sleep, and visualize a peaceful sleep and peaceful dreams and things like that. And people swear by lavender. I like lavender personally a little bit at a time, because I'm a little bit allergic to the smell of lavender. It's going to make me sneeze like a crazy person if I get too much of it. Like people use that Fabuloso lavender. I can't do it. I wish I could. It smells beautiful, but I'm going to sneeze my head off. But yeah, lavender is great for relaxation. A lot of people put it in their baths and things like that too, just to help relax and just be peaceful. Everybody needs a little more peace. So see how easy this can be. These are extremely simple things that you can add to your life every single day. It's not something, magic isn't something that you have to schedule a special moment for. It can truly be how you live. Every mundane thing in your life can be connected to magic if you want it to. Okay? Because magic and the craft, the practice, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it, is not about necessarily the action itself, okay, of setting up that ritual, putting the altar items out, those kinds of things. It's about the intention behind those actions. If you just take a mundane person who doesn't know anything about the craft and you tell them, here's some candles, go set those up in a circle, and I'll come out there and do my practice in just a minute, it's not going to have the same effect as if you went out there personally and thought about the intention behind each of those candle points when you're setting your circle. Because you're putting your intention into the full action, not just the spell work itself. Okay? And it's not in the tools. The tools are physical manifestations of what we're trying to do. Right? So, some more simple things. Wiping down your kitchen counter, that could be considered kitchen witchery if you think about it, because if you're visualizing cleaning out the negativity from your kitchen as you're cleaning out the physical dirt from your kitchen witchery. So let's say you want to light a vanilla candle for some ambiance in your living room and turn the lights down and relax. Spell work. You could infuse that lighting of that candle with the intention for peace and for harmony. And then that becomes magic. That becomes part of your craft. So it's the mindset itself that transforms these basic mundane tasks into the magical, right? So that magic is coming from you. When you move through life with awareness and intention and heart, you are living those spells. You are living and walking that magic. Yeah. And don't never feel pressured. If these are all that you do, these simple things, never feel pressured to do more. Right? If someone says, oh, well, if that's all you're doing, you're not a real witch. Bullshit. Don't listen to them. Don't feel pressured that you have to be more. You do what's right for you. What works for you. You are the only person in charge of your craft, of your practice. Alright, so before I get on a soapbox here, let's move on. That's our everyday magic stuff. I know y'all hear my papers rattling. I have a small space that I have to work with. So, witchy workarounds. Practicing in secret or blending in at work. Because, like I said, not all of us work in like a charm shop or a crystal shop where we can just be as open as we want to. Right? A lot of us... Well, honestly, I live in the South, and sometimes it's just not safe, and you don't need to put yourself in danger to practice your craft. There's no reason for it, all right? So, how are you going to practice your craft quietly, respectfully, safely, at work or in public spaces, whatever? Because I don't know about you, but I'm not taking a cauldron into work. That's too far. And before we get too far into that, one thing I want to stress really hard, there's no shame in being in a broom closet. Okay? And I know that has a little bit of negative connotation, but there shouldn't be. You practice how you want to practice. If that is quietly in a quiet corner of your home where no one even in your home knows, that's all right. That's for you. You are not practicing this craft for anyone else but yourself. That's it. And if anybody's got a problem with that, well, they can fuck off. You don't need that kind of nonsense. There is no shame practicing quietly, privately, or in total secrecy. None whatsoever. You do what works for you. witchcraft itself has roots in being hidden. Okay, um, sometimes it's about survival, especially in this day and age. People are crazy right now, and sometimes you gotta tamp things down a little bit just to survive. And it's also about privacy because the craft, the practice of witchcraft is extremely personal, you know, that you don't have to share that with anyone. That is for you. And you should never be shamed or be felt guilty that you don't share every single part of yourself with the world. Keep something for yourself if you need to. There's nothing wrong with that. So, you are still a real witch, whether you shout it from the rooftops or you whisper it to the moon. You're still a witch. And don't let anybody tell you different. If so, you send them to me and I'll discuss it with them. Alright? So, some practical magic, ways, discreet ways to weave witchcraft into your daily life. A lot of it we kind of already went over. So, wearing those crystal pendants charged with protection or healing or abundance, rings, earrings, even a watch, your eyeglasses, whatever. All of those things can be enchanted or charged with your intention, and nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know. Okay? And nobody has to know that the necklace you wear is secretly a shielding spell, right? Your favorite pen can become your wand for signing success into your life. Charge that pen with positivity and abundance and success, and every time you have to sign your name, that's putting that intention out into the universe. Go back to those post-it notes. Write that sigil on the back. Some people use invisible ink. I personally don't, because I don't even know where to get invisible ink. But sometimes you can just be doodling. And in amongst that doodle is a sigil that can empower your day or your workspace. That coffee mug that I have, it's like my whoopee. I have one at home. I have one at work. That's my potion. That's my potion chalice. Period. You can't tell me any different. It is a magic elixir, 100%. Tiny altars. I've seen little travel altars that people put in those Altoid tins, and it just looks like a tin of Altoids. You don't have to put anything on the outside. Just open it up, have some little figures in there, little tiny candles if you wanted, a little bit of dirt for your earth, those kind of little tiny jar with water in it for your water aspect, all those things. Just in a little Altoid can. Feathers. I have tons of feathers. I was cleaning the other day in here and found like 6 or 7 extra feathers. Had no idea I had them. And now they're in a prominent place. And some of them are large that I can't take everywhere with me. And some of them are tiny that I actually could put in a little miniature altar and take that with me wherever I go. Some people use pressed flowers. That's a really good one for Earth because it's really cool. It's a pressed flower. Who doesn't love pressed flowers? A small photo of nature or an image of a candle, those are totally acceptable too. Because not everybody can just pop out a little birthday candle and light that sucker up at lunchtime, But a photo, a small photo, why wouldn't that work? If your intention's behind it, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Some people, and I've seen it, I saw this recently somewhere probably on a TikTok or something. They have a candle on their background screen of their phone that would, help them to focus and things. I thought that was interesting. Um, a desk plant. This is one I haven't done because as much as I love herbal stuff and have a crap ton of herbs sitting right next to me right now, I do not always have a green thumb. And I think some of that is because I get distracted and I forget to water them, and then I'm a bad plant mom. So, but your desk plants or even your yard plants, whatever, can be really good for grounding. That's part of the earth. So you can go to that plant, touch the leaves, push that negativity into the soil of that plant to help dissipate it. It's a good filter, basically, to get that stuff out of you. Breath work, we talked about the breathing thing a little bit. Deep, quick breath in for power, breathing out to get rid of negativity and to add protection and stuff before you go into a meeting. Fabulous. Whispering some kind of mantra under your breath. Nobody's got to know what you're talking about. Now, you might look a little crazy if you're doing it all the time and your lips are moving, because then people think you're just talking to yourself. Now, some of us do talk to ourselves. I am 100% guilty of that. And I just tell people that I'm having a staff meeting with my other personalities and we'll get back to when we can. But just be warned, if you muttering to yourself all the time, people in the South don't think you're crazy. But that's okay, we like our crazy. Where was I? Visualization. I don't know how y'all deal with me. I'm a special little chinchilla for sure. So, visualization spells. So, imagine a shield around you. We talked about that on another episode about that bubble of mirrors to reflect things away from you. You can do that anywhere. You ain't got to tell nobody that you see yourself like a disco ball bouncing everything away from you. You ain't got to tell them. They don't know. Visualize a golden light filling your body. I prefer a white light. Some people like a gold light. Hell, sometimes I visualize a purple light because purple's my favorite. But you can do that anytime, anywhere, no matter what's going on. So, disguising actual spell work. This is going to be a little bit harder, I think, because there is a physical thing sometimes. But this first one is really good for a lot of reasons. Journaling, okay? Writing in a journal helps to clear out your mind, helps you to actually look at issues that you're dealing with and pick them apart a little bit easier. All right, and I might actually go over that topic on another episode a little more in depth because I think it's super important. But as far as hidden spell work, you can write down affirmations or manifestations in your journal. So besides journaling, cooking. This is a super easy disguise spell work. Kitchen witchery. When you're stirring a pot on the stove, stir in love and abundance and healing and protection and all those things. Super easy. You can, even when you sprinkle salt into whatever you're cooking, think of the protection aspects of it, that kind of stuff. I have been doing that one unconsciously for years and not even realizing what it was until I really started studying my craft and getting more in depth with it. Super easy. I love that one. Cleaning your desk, cleaning your kitchen, cleaning anything. So put that intention of you're not just cleaning, but you are cleansing everything. Because you want to cleanse the energies off of things. It just, give everything kind of a little boost. You want to cleanse it and then put an intention behind it for that positivity. See, you're working all this magic with all these things. Nobody knows. Nobody but you. Because you are what matters. Okay? You are the important thing in your craft, not everybody else. Nobody else makes these decisions for you. This is your craft, period. So, a couple of extra little tips. Few reminders, I guess. Trust your instincts. You know, we want to feel safe and share our lives with others, but if your gut says this isn't really feel like a good place for me to share my love of crystals, don't share it. Don't. It's up to you, but don't. You know, if your gut is telling you this ain't quite right, it's probably not quite right. And you don't know anyone an explanation about your life, your past, anything, honestly. You you do you, boo. You ain't got to answer to nobody. Um, let your magic be adaptable. Being a witch doesn't always mean these rigid rituals. Some do that, you know, in the higher magic stuff with covens and everything. It is more rigid and more formal. And if that's what you do, fabulous. That's what works for you. But it's not a have to. Living intentional is the simplest way to live the craft. And anyone can do that. And you are enough. Exactly as you are. Quiet witchcraft is still extremely powerful witchcraft. And honestly, sometimes the most powerful spells are the ones that are cast with a whisper instead of that shout. Yeah. Those important, very personal intentions being put out there sometimes mean more. They just do. They're just more powerful. So, whether you're brewing your intentions in your morning coffee or you're charging your favorite earrings for protection, remember your magic is yours. It is sacred. It is strong, even if no one else can see it. All right. Now, next time, I think we're going to go over a witchy first aid kit. Now, any of my listeners that knows me knows I have a little bit of an addiction to first aid shit. It's part of my mundane life, and it overflows to every single thing I do. I swear, I've always got a first aid kit. But we're going to talk about some basic witchy supplies that you can use for first aid type stuff, which I think is so much fun. I love it. Like making your own salves and stuff. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to let y'all go tonight. Thank y'all so much for joining me. This podcast has been a lifesaver for me. And I know I'm only a few episodes in. I've only got a few listeners and followers, but every time I see a new listen to one of my episodes, it makes my heart so happy. So if you're listening, thank you. It means the absolute world to me, and I think of all of you every single day, and I hope that I'm bringing something magical to you. So, I just want y'all to know thank you. If you have something you'd like to hear about on the podcast, let me know. Send me an email, or you can message me on Instagram, tag me in a post or whatever. You can find me just about everywhere at Raven's Ramblings Podcast. That's, I think I'm under Raven's Ramblings on Instagram, and then the podcast, I've started a TikTok and all kinds of things. So like and share, and thanks for being there. I do appreciate it. So until next time, stay intentional, stay strong, and stay magical. Bye.